Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, I am doing a collective reading and energy update. And right away, what I will say is that for many in our beautiful collective listening here, I have picked up on a lot of really intense energies the last few days. So let me know in the comments if you've been feeling any of this. I sense that as a result of some of this energetic intensity, you might find yourself really tired in the middle of the day, feeling easily worn out. You also might find yourself in a bit of a negative headspace at times, or feeling these negative emotions surfacing without really knowing why, without being able to really connect those emotions with a known source. And when this happens, this can actually be a sign that you are picking up on the energy of someone else or the collective in general. The collective energy has been really heavy and really intense recently. So I know that many of you who are highly empathic are actually picking up on quite a bit of that. But I do want to go ahead and use that as a starting point to start pulling cards today. So I want to know more information about this collective, really heavy energy at this time. What is this heavy collective energy? Okay, so in a backwards way, I am getting the message things feel out of balance because they're coming into balance. And we have Angel of Balance reversed and Magician and the Mirror in the upright position. This Angel of Balance reverse card tells me that someone's feeling really overwhelmed, particularly emotionally overwhelmed. And this emotional overwhelm might be causing you to feel or to wonder if you're imbalanced in some way. However, the ironic thing is here, it seems that this overwhelm, this on the surface feeling of imbalance, is actually playing a role in bringing something on a larger scale into balance, with Magician and the Mirror upright. I'm hearing recalibrating. It's like something is being recalibrated here, whether that's planetary, whether that's personal within yourself, or within a specific relationship. It feels like things are being broken down and processed out to allow for the building of a new foundation that will support you in building in a more soul-aligned direction. Again, whether that is deeply personal, involving another person in a relationship context, or at the collective level. So how are things coming into balance here? Okay, the divine masculine is healing. Now, when I use these terms, divine masculine and divine feminine, these are terms to describe energies. So this could be connecting with an internal energy, even if you tend to lean more in the direction of resonating with the divine feminine. Some of these messages could connect to your internal divine masculine. Equally, these can apply to specific relationship dynamics or even the collective generally. So again, always take the messages, how they resonate, how they feel good to you, because at the end of the day, my goal here is really just to reconnect you with your own intuition. But what I am getting is that with the masculine, I'm hearing over-dominant, like there used to be an over-dominant masculine energy. The word control is also coming out here. So this could be within you internally at a personal level. You could be someone who in the past used to try and control the process, someone who had these modalities of control picked up from the collective consciousness that caused you to try to push or force things into place. And if that is the case at a personal level, those old patterns of control are being healed because you no longer are actually going to be able to go back into those patterns and see the same, what we sometimes refer to as quote unquote results in the physical world. This is because the very nature of our reality is changing, it's shifting. Really, more accurately, it is ascending. And because of this, everything in our universe is becoming more energetically based and more energetically responsive. So ways that we used to try and force and push things into place from that space of density, from that space of 3D forceful action, those ways of being no longer align with this higher vibrational, more energetically based reality. And many of us are grappling with this either on a personal level, in our relationships, or on a collective level, because what we are finding, and the phrase that keeps coming up, is our old ways of doing things are no longer working. And I know that many people who are listening and tuned in here have discovered this in your own life, that maybe there was a way of being or doing or pushing things into place within your work, within yourself, your life, your relationships, that may have worked in the past that is no longer bringing the same outcomes. And that is, again, because the very nature of this whole equation has changed and we have changed. We ourselves are being upgraded. I often talk about this upgrading like upgrading to a faster, smoother, sleeker computer system that no longer runs old, outdated programs that used to work on a less updated system. In fact, if your new computer system tries to run those old programs, you may literally feel like you're having a burnout or like you're crashing, just like in the metaphor. And so I feel that these cards are coming up to let us know if you feel those old patterns almost like reasserting or resurfacing themselves, it's because they are being collapsed out. And whenever something is being collapsed out, it is usually re-experienced on its way out. This is why they often say that you can feel the beginning when you're at the end, or you think of the beginning when you're at the end. In a relationship context, sometimes when we go through a parting of ways with a person in the physical, we can feel as though we're actually thinking about the beginning of that connection, and the memories somehow seem more vivid. This is because, again, whenever we're collapsing something out, we're going to find ourselves temporarily re-experiencing it. So I feel as though someone might be re-experiencing some of those old patterns that are actually outdated for you now, that you've actually outgrown and transcended beyond, but that you are in the process of fully collapsing out, not just for yourself, but for the collective consciousness as well. Because know that choosing to confidently lead the way collectively in these shifts into higher dimensional realities, into more energetically based ways of existing in the world. In doing this, you are having a really profound positive impact on the collective ascension process as well. And the reason that someone's guides are emphasizing this is because I get the sense that at times you might actually have the tendency to underestimate the impact of what you are going through on a personal level for the collective. You might feel really isolated and believe that the battles you are fighting, the things you are experiencing, the ways you are shifting are only affecting you, or you might feel kind of lost in your own mind or in your own world. But know that all of these breakthroughs you are accomplishing within yourself are having this tremendous expanding impact on the collective consciousness as well. And I'm hearing, look for evidence of your impact, because you're going to see it showing up very soon. You might already be seeing this evidence, but you're being asked to really acknowledge it, to open your eyes to it in a new way, and really to acknowledge yourself for the kind of impact you are having because of the courage that you have within yourself. Okay, so how else is the collective listening in here shifting at this time? What is changing today? I keep seeing something about the number 818, which of course that is today's date. And that number sequence might hold significance for someone specifically. There can also be a mirroring there with the 2 8s and the 1 in between them. So you might be really mirroring a particular person at this time, relationship-wise, with whom there is something in between, some kind of obstacle, barrier, or point of separation in the physical. Again, even though there is very much that mirroring at the spiritual level. And I will channel more into that. But first, I do want to let you know about these 2 cards that just came out here. And these are the third eye chakra and also the victory card. I'm hearing following your intuition will continue to lead you to these breakthroughs. If things feel as though they are stuck or delayed or not moving forward in a particular area of your life, it is not because something is going wrong. It is because you are perfectly planted in the place that optimizes your growth and evolution at this time. And we're being asked to release the concept of linear time that really restricts us and causes us to wonder if we've been stuck in a particular place for quote unquote too long, or when things are going to come together, whether it's taking too long. We're being asked to release all of those fear-based thoughts around timing and around this truly just a construct of linear time that humans have created and perpetuated to keep us detached from our true power. We're being asked to disconnect from that and to be able to allow ourselves to be where we are fully, with trust that wherever we are in the perfect position to optimize our growth at this time. And in connection with this, whenever we expand internally into something new, a new vision, a new connection, a new way of connecting with a specific same person from the past, whenever we create something new within ourselves, expand it within ourselves, our physical reality will ultimately expand to reflect that internal expansion, not the other way around. And that is unconditional living, really at its finest. That is us knowing how to unconditionally just be where we are, to unconditionally love and accept ourselves and this point that we're at in the moment. And through that self-unconditional love, through that total acceptance and embracing of the present moment and of ourselves where we are, focusing as much energy as we can, not towards the external, but towards the internal journey, towards that expansion that is taking place within us. Again, trusting that whenever we expand and hold a new vision within, the external reality will begin to physically match and mirror and attract the details of that internal expansion. But for many of us, this is a very backwards way of thinking and being. It is very opposite how we were trained and taught, which is also why it takes a bit of training, a bit of unraveling to really begin to practice this new way of being consistently. In addition to this, there are typically many around us living very unconsciously who will not understand this process of unconditionally loving and accepting ourselves, who will not understand that we are working to actually expand ourselves emotionally, energetically, internally to manifest our physical reality rather than pushing externally with force or control. This is so opposite what we are taught in society that many people will not quite understand it, but they will see over time the results of that way of being. They will begin to see you and see your life as utterly magical in a way that they can't even find words to explain or describe. And many of you may have already experienced this. Many of you will be experiencing this moving into the future. But this is really how you lead by example into this really fifth dimensional new reality that we are stepping into. You show it through the example of being someone brave enough to go within, to tune to yourself before tuning outside to the rest of the world, to hold your vision and continue to expand that vision, trusting that when that vision becomes fully familiar and real to you internally, it will begin to show up physically. Wow, very powerful messages coming through. So thank you to all of you who are here actually co-creating all of these messages and pieces of information. By the way, if you would like me to channel more specifically for you and your situation, I do also recommend liking the video and subscribing to the channel, as these are forms of energy transfer, and this does allow me to pick up more easily on your energy and channel more specifically for you and your situation. I got a really strong message that said, embrace fully who you are. See the beauty in your uniqueness, in your differentness. Because I feel that for someone listening here, at times, you may doubt the value of your unique or different nature. There may be times throughout your life where you have wanted to conform or wanted or wished that you were more like others, or that you shared more of the same interests, hobbies, gifts, ways of being with other people. But the truth is that you have always stood out on a collective level. You've never fully been able to blend in or fully conform yourself. And that is because at a soul level, you have not been meant to conform. You have been meant to fully embody the differentness, the uniqueness of who you are at a spiritual level, and in doing so, to inspire others to love, accept, and embrace their own differentness as well. But this has not always been an easy path for you. You may have experienced a lot of ridicule in your life, particularly at a young age, because you have been someone who was never meant to conform. But I'm getting that your life trajectory will show this pattern of people at first either ridiculing you or rejecting you or not understanding you. And then over time, those same people beginning to look at you with awe, seeing your reality and you as magical, seeing, almost having their eyes opened to what you were trying to show them through the example of your life all along. And I'm hearing many people will be coming back around, even people who may have rejected you or not understood you in the past, because once you are implanted on someone's psyche, once you have interacted energetically, not even physically, but even just energetically in the same kind of time, space, reality with a particular other soul, you become implanted in their subconscious mind, in their psyche, in a dormant way, sometimes at first, where they may not even recognize that you're kind of in their awareness or in their mind in the background. But eventually, when they are ready to awaken, their mind, their spirit will connect them back with you, even if it's just thinking of memories of you, wondering about you. This could cause them to look you up online if you do have social media presence, or to reach out in some way, because at a soul level, they are understanding that you have gone through the shifts and the transformations that their soul is now longing to go through, and in a sense asking for at a spiritual level, which again will cause them to kind of ricochet back into your reality at times. So do notice when people from your past begin wondering about you, or may even reach out to you in some way. These are no coincidences. I do want to get back to that 818 number. I said that it seemed like this could be a mirroring of two souls, but with something in between representing that one between the eights. Okay, so right away, my guides showed me that the eights represent, it's almost like an infinity symbol that is turned the other way. And of course, this can represent something that goes on and on and on. And I feel as though you and this other person have this connection that is eternal. It's an eternal bond here. It doesn't go away. It's perpetual. Whereas that one represents something finite, something with a beginning and an end. So it seems like the thing in the way is definitely something temporary, whether that's a circumstance, a disconnect, a relationship. It's something with an ending point. It's something that's very finite. So what is this finite thing in the way? Okay, we have woman holding a heart in the reverse position. So it could be that there is a third party involved here in a relationship context. If that is resonating, particularly with it being the divine masculine here who is in a third party situation, then there could be someone who is in a sense pulling on his heartstrings, or someone who is just holding his heart or pulling on his heart in some kind of way. Can I get more clarification on this? Yeah, we have a woman holding a coin. That's a sign of confirmation, because this is my number one karmic feminine card here. So this won't be for everyone, but for some of you listening, the thing kind of standing between the two of you at this time in the physical could be a karmic feminine connection here. What other details can I get on this connection? Oh, truth is coming out within this karmic connection, because we have deceit in the reverse position. If this isn't connecting as a specific karmic person in the connection or a third party situation, this actually could be a karmic pattern within the masculine themselves, because karmic energies are not limited to relationships. Karmic energies are forms of artificial energetic interference that prevent us from connecting in with our true soul frequency. And they can show up in many, many different ways. They can be addictions, behavior patterns, thought patterns. The thing about karmic energies, regardless of how they show up in the physical, is that they tend to be very cyclical. So they will feel as though they're kind of going through the same cycles or moving in circles until we finally learn the lesson that they are there to teach us. And then they simply seem to just dissolve from our mind, from our energy, or from our reality. Now, with the World card in connection with this truth, with deceit reversed, I'm seeing that there is a profound expansion happening here, particularly within the divine masculine. And it's actually that expansion spiritually and energetically that is bringing this truth to light and dissolving the karmic patterns. So what truths are coming to light here for this masculine? What truths are coming to light? Okay, we have the thinking woman in the reverse position. Can I get a clarifier for this card? Okay, envy in the upright position. and the garden and the gate upright. Okay, so I feel that the realization is going to be around the fact that however this karmic energy is showing up, it is something that they've been utilizing to fill some kind of void. And it's this realization that that's not been working, that they've been blind to some kind of pattern here, because however this karmic energy has been manifesting, it has not been working to fill this void within them. And ultimately where their focus is this garden and the gate. This depicts a woman that is standing behind a gate. Now, of course, the divine feminine doesn't have to be a physical woman. These energies can show up in many different ways. But what I'm really seeing here is that the masculine is realizing that his soul is with the divine feminine, who is in this space of guardedness at this time, who he really doesn't know how to access here, but there is this shift in focus onto her regardless. And that is creating some conflict, either internally or possibly even externally, arguments, etc., in certain connections or relationships. What are these conflicts? Oh, conflicts coming up because he has felt the true unconditional love from the divine feminine here, and there's no going back. That's a strong message I'm getting. There's no way to return back into these karmic patterns and cycles to try and fill a void that can really only be filled by unconditional love, which of course the masculine is being trained into that frequency of unconditional love within himself through this entire process, through this awakening that he's experiencing, and recognizing that pure, beautiful frequency of love that has emanated from the divine feminine is actually creating some 3D conflict in his life, because there is quite a bit in his life that has been out of alignment with that frequency of love. I'm hearing a decision will ground something in, or will solidify or stabilize something. So it feels like the masculine here is being pushed into making a very powerful decision, a kind of resolve within himself that is ultimately going to manifest something between the two of you in the physical, or stabilize something in a powerful way in this connection. So in the extended version of the reading on Patreon, I will be channeling more into what this decision could possibly be that is stabilizing either this connection or manifesting something between the two of you. I will also be channeling more about this particular masculine's thoughts and feelings at this time. And of course, we will be diving into some divine feminine higher self and spirit guide messages as well, and any other pieces of information that want to come through that reading. So if you are feeling guided to the extended version of the reading, I will leave a link to it in the pinned comment and description box under this video. For now, I am going to pull one final card from the 𝘠𝑦 Oracle. So what is one final message for the beautiful souls tuned into this reading today? Dance of the Divine Feminine. And I'm just going to read a guidebook message here. If a tree could move from one place to another, it would not suffer the pain of the saw or the oppressive wounds. If the sun and the moon stood still like the rocks, they could not offer brilliance. How bitter the taste of water would be if the river stopped its flow, remaining still like seawater. When the seawater rises to become a cloud, it loses its bitterness and pours the rain of sweetness. I have given you only a few examples. You can figure out the rest. Break away from the self and enter the kingdom of love. 𝘠𝑦. And the guidebook also says, You may feel unsettled, beloved, as though the ground beneath you is not so solid. You may touch it to see. Is it moving? Of course. It is hurtling through the skies, spinning, tilted on its axis. Yet you stand there, imagining you have a choice of not moving. So, soon you'll be able to find your orientation, even if everything you have once held on to appears to be shimmering and insubstantial, a mere dance of light rather than solid ground. This will become so easy for you because your orientation will flow from within, from the heart, and no matter what shifts and changes take place around you, your center will remain strong. That feels like a beautiful place to close this reading. Again, if you would like to join me in the extended version of the reading on Patreon, where we will be heading over to now, the link to that is in the pinned comment and description box under the video. Otherwise, I am sending you all so much love today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and weekend, and I will connect with you here again in Monday's reading.